Welcome to another episode of me going behind the music and showcasing how I make the songs that I make. And this is actually another episode of me working on discordance. This will be the single that I'm preparing for release, actually. And to show you a little bit about this, this is like me documenting what I'm doing. It's like somebody is working in a lab or keeping a diary or a logbook, but an audio and video and notes and everything. So I'm doing the same. So I've been setting up actually my mixing process, and actually here is like, there are headquarters, there is like a factory, and then some jobs they're outsourcing. A factory can outsource to other places, and some things will happen only in the office. Some decisions will be made there. Between the departments, there will be some communication, and then transfer them to the factory, and then the factory transfers to another line, which is on another location. Anyway, so it's been going on similarly to the music making industry, let's say. So like preparing a mix, sending out to master, or preparing a recording and sending out for mixing, then sending to another place for mastering. But because I'm very lazy, I like to keep everything in one project. So basically, if you see these buses here, so this is basically what I'm doing is top-down mixing. So I'm trying to make everything ready, have everything ready the way I like them to sound, like a fully polished, ready song for release, and then continue the writing. So the stage I am now is I've basically written many sections, which you can see here. So these are my sections, let's say. And I'm searching for libraries, songs, and layers, drums, bass, and only the guitar due to the strings. I've roughly recorded it for these parts. So, and then in this stage, I'm trying to finalize the mixing process. So to show you a little bit what's going on, this is my main buses, these channels here. So in these buses, all the drums are going here, processing happening here, all the bass is going here, this channel, and the processing happening here. Same, disregard this channel. This is just for my, I record through the XFX, so I have like zero latency. And this is the DI, where in the DI, I can put an amp simp, and I change the cabins, and I change the amp simps, and experiment a little bit. So, and this the whole monstrosity of a processing happening here. And then I have my synth bus, orchestral bus, percussion bus, and sound effects bus. Now, usually these instruments, I don't have vocals in my songs, they're instrumental. These instruments will go to this instrument bus right here. And the process will happen here. And then if I have vocals, I would have another bus for vocals. So 2 last buses, and then the final one, which is the mix bus, which is the final mastering. But I'm using the mix bus up to here, and then I'm doing a parallel mix here, where I'm sending everything but the drums to this parallel mix. And I'm using this SSL bus compressor, and then I'm very slowly, very low. I'm blending it in a very low level. I will show you later how it changes the sound. And then we have then up to this point, up to the mix bus, the mix can go out to a mastering engineer and he can master it. But I'm doing that also in this project, which is the master bus here, which is a lot of processing going here. And it's good. It helps me to have everything controlled instantly. So like this is like headquarters and factory and no outsourcing all happening in the same place. Like and what I'm doing, a new thing that I'm doing actually here is these buses in the between. So basically, I'm sending all of those for outside the project for outboard processing, which is like passing them through a console, and then the connection happens here, and then they go back into the project, and then they go here to these two buses. One is for the, let's say, low frequency areas, and the other is for mid and high frequency areas, like bass and drums and all the other instruments. Percussion too goes in the first one, and then these go to instruments, and then from here these go out again for outboard processing here in preamps, and then they go back in, and then they go to the master bus, and then it's done. So I was trying to basically, as you can, sometimes we put like a compressor and we try to adjust the makeup gain, because the compressor introduces some kind of increase in volume or very decrease. So you adjust that to reach your previously desired level. So anyway, so I did the same thing with the outboard processing. So it's a very good opportunity for you to see like how this sounds with all these buses passing out, like sending them out and being processed and coming back in. With a click of a button, I can, for example, disengage the outboard processing and re-engage it. So it's like I'm doing this same with the plugins, right? And just disable the plugin, I listen how it hears, and then I engage it again. So let's go to a section to show you what I mean. Let's go to, let's go here in this one. So this one, okay, I will leave them on, and then as the song progresses, the riff progresses, I will disengage them so you can listen what the processing does, the output processing. So that was what the mix was sounding before, right? So let's go again. Without. With. So it's like a very nice opportunity for anybody who's interested to listen what the 5059 can do. It's like passing them through an analog console. So what I was doing actually is I was going, for example, with the drums, and the drums are playing. Actually, let me first go here, and let's put a repeat here. Okay, so so if you listen to the drums before, without processing, with so it's a little bit tricky because it sounds a lot lower in the level, but actually if you see here, so these are my drums. To match the pre 5059 processing, I had to roll them all the way to, like, I don't know, it's like 10 dB, and then the drums sound matched, and then I processed the bass separately, and it was the same. But actually, when I finished each individual track, like drums, bass, guitars, so I matched each one separately with the previous processing and the 5059, then everything was fine. But then when I played them all together, there was a huge difference. The 1559 was much higher. So that's why now that I play it individually, it sounds much lower. But if I grab them all together and I play it, see, now the level is at the same, and it maintains in the same level. So basically, for whoever is interested, you can see most instruments are remaining at 0 dB. So it means I'm not pushing the signal to the outboard gear a lot here, except the orchestral. For some reason, I needed to push it to maintain the same level. And in the final, with all the buses together, they sound the same exactly. So for some reason, it wanted like this. Then percussion, not the percussion, the orchestral. The percussion remains at 0, and then the effects at 0. And then if you see here, drums, bass, percussion buses are all like low-endy stuff, signals. So they're processing with this channel, and I'm putting the blue in. And then the red ones, which are like middle and high frequency signals, are processed by this channel. So if you see here, it's like minus 18 dB. So this is the last step of the processing to try to match the final mix. And yeah, so it looks like they sound all together the same now. And right. The other interesting thing that I noticed is that in my previous video, the mastering happens here. So my main limiter was about -6, -7 dB compression gain reduction, and I had the threshold at -7. Usually there are other mixes that the threshold is like -9, which is actually very loud, but it looked like this project. I'm gonna play it and you will see the compression. I'm aiming to maintain a compression about -5 dB. So you will see the waveform. It's not completely hammered. It's like a gently, so to speak, reducted. How to say? So. So basically, this is actually really kind of amazing because, as you can see here, we have -4.9 dB of compression, and the LUFS are let me see, loudness are like the momentary. We will aim at the integrated, but the momentary is like -7.4 with a little bit of compression. And so for the mastering, I'm not experienced at all by any means for the mastering, but I try to balance many things to aim for a good mastering. So basically, I noticed that when I introduced the outboard processing, this from -7 went to -5. If I disengage, we are at -11 LUFS, -10. Anyway, it means I have to take this back to -7. But when I'm introducing the outboard processing, it's so much louder. So I'm taking this back to 5. And it's now actually much better because first I look at my master bus, which is actually, I have another limiter for very mild trimming of the picks, which is another trick that I learned from Ermin Hamidovic. So I'm super grateful for these guys out there, like their advice and know-how and what they do is like gold information. So anyway, if you see here, this we will see here the integrated LUFS. I'm only increasing like 0.8 dB. So we are at -8 so far. It's a very small part to play. So yeah, also I'm looking at my master bus faders to see how much breathing room they have. If they are like slammed on the top without like able to move, there is some problem. You need to go back in the beginning and fix some things, adjust. Anyway, now they look very nice for the final product actually. So I think it could also be output at -0.1 dB. Just for the ceiling, never to reach the 0 dB. So the second limiter and then first limiter at -5. about, as you can see, minus 4 dB of compression, which is very healthy, a very healthy number. And actually, it shows us that if I have all these things in a design balanced, like good moving faders, compression is about minus 4, minus 5 dB, and I can see the waveform. It can breathe very well. You see, it's not the limiter doesn't go up if you cut everything. So, and then I'm taking a look at the LUFS. And the LUFS, usually in my previous masters, I knew less things than now. They were at like minus 11, minus 12 dB. So I couldn't push them more because everything was distorting, or some else would mess with the balance of the things. So if it was minus 11, I left it at minus 11. Minus 9, minus 9. But now they're like, if you see here, they're like, right, you get the point. We are at minus 8 LUFS, which is very loud actually, and nothing is distorting. So I'm very happy about this result. Anyway, let me show you now what that parallel mix does to the whole thing. So let's see, as you can see, it's at minus 20 dB. So it's very, I slowly blend it in, let's see, in a, see how low it is. So I'm gonna leave everything playing, keep playing, and then I'm gonna mute it and unmute it so you can understand the difference. Very small compression actually, you see. It's very low. To my ears, as I'm listening, it gives some kind of like the icing on the cake, like a very subtle sheen and liveliness to the final sound. So I'm gonna increase it a little bit to see it in some more exaggerated form. Let's go back a little bit. See, when I remove it, everything is much drier when I put it in, blending it in to about -20. Everything gets very much more wet and more alive in the sound. Okay, so that's B-mix, parallel mix. And then what else I'm doing is, oh yeah, the other changes that I made was in the snare. Actually, Contact was not very friendly because in this project I used to have, for the drums, I used to have the, I'm using Periphery 5 kit, P5 kit, and I used to have Contact 5 and the output levels were like all over the place. And then I took it out. Even if I fixed them again with the Contact 7, it couldn't fix, like I was putting all of the cymbals in the spots and in the overheads and only the hi-hats in the separate channel, but it couldn't be represented in the when I was activating the output. So you see here with Contact 8, hats. This is correct. So everything's correct. So I had a bit of a problem with the snare. I don't like how the snare is sounding now. And this is basically the low snare, low tuned. So what I did, the last thing that I did last time was in the snare bus. I put another this cut here at 2.5K about. So let me see. So let's go here. It sounds more focused. So the frequency is this actually, if I -5. Anyway, I wanted to keep it muddy actually. So let me. It is tremendous difference actually. Without it, the snare sounds much more like dispersing all over the place. But with it on, all the dispersion around the snare, it's being cut, and the snare sounds more focused. At least that's how I'm hearing it. So anyway, I like this move, and I didn't put it on the snare top or the bottom. I put it directly on the snare bass because it was there that I was noticing the most desirable change that I wanted. So anyway, and then I put some transient designer to introduce some more focusedness, and then without it sounds like this. It's sounding very, how to say, clicky. That's why I reduce the output gain to minus 15 dB. So in the beginning it was like 0 dB. It's extremely loud. And there is also gain reduction. So it sounds good there. Let's listen with everything. Actually, let's find. Let's do it from the bass. It's softer. Very visible, very audible here. And everything together. At 0 dB peaks, there is a red line in the signals here, but when I put it on minus, which means it I'm sending too much signal to the output processing. So and it does that in the before the snare breathes, like in the breathing in until the snare actually hits. Becomes red there. So this is borderline. No red signal. the tight and punchy preset. This is so -10. Then, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I'm sending full signal to the outboard processing here, as you can see, 6.02 dB, and the return also to for matching. So it's everything pushed, except some like here is -1. It was the necessary moves for to be equally matched, the before processing and after processing. Anyway, now I want to see a little bit for the. Let me try. I have the processing here. Yeah, and I'm putting it in the end of the chain, as you can see. So if I try another transient designer, transient shaper, let's say, try from here. Let me use some kind of snappy. Let's see about snappy. Let's test some presets. Sounds really good, but we need to kind of make up, or if we don't make up, we kind of mix, roll back. Let's see how it sounds by itself. So now I'm tone bass, snare bass. Can I move here? Snare bass. And then solo this one. That was before, as I used to have it. Tremendous difference. Very poppy. And at -10. So this is actually, let's see it with the full mix. And so to be like over there. Yeah. Let's see now. I'm losing some of the body of the snare when I introduce this one, at least the fatness of it. So the mid bite. No. Let's go from the beginning. Let's go here. Now all the section. Loop. Okay. So sounds nice. That's not a representative section. Let's go here. And then let's more focused. Sounds good. Well, let's compare it with the SPL. like the mid bite more. Minus 16.7. Minus 8. The difference is tremendous. So that means probably minus 8. I don't know. Let's leave it off for the time being, and I will come back to it with fresh ears. The other thing that I wanted to do, a tricky thing about that is that if I leave it long time, I will get accustomed to the snare as it sounds now. So I wouldn't be able to realize after 3 months, let's say, oh, the snare doesn't sound so good. But anyway, it's been, how to say, I noticed from the beginning that I want to change it. So I will come back to it with fresh ears. So the other thing I wanted to do is actually go to fix some velocities. Looks like in this part I left some velocities. I didn't adjust them, so let's go key editor. No. Key editor. So what was that? Key editor. Why it was like that? key editor, F18, over here. Command W, close, and then F18, Command W, close. So, sorry about that. So, here I need the Command W, and here I need F18. The command was reversed. So let's see now. Let's see this one. Hey. Same here. Okay. And then close. And then open. And then close. And then same here. Okay. So yeah, the velocities, I have the kicks in about 100, and then snares looks 105, and then these are the toms. These look already adjusted, but I didn't adjust the hi-hats and the cymbals. So that means no, this is too loud. About 100-ish. Actually, the crashes are okay. Crash 110. So these are okay. Now to be considered, yeah. I am considering it now. It's not good. Doesn't sound good. So let me see with the full. Seriously now? Okay. Let me see with the full mix, actually, this part. Tones are there. That's okay. Nothing else. And these are 90. So let me see also here. Why? Okay, hats. And hats open and then grass is soft. Let me take those. There, oh my god, 121. This is way loud. So now they're about 90. Sticking to 80. About there. There's that. Let's make them around 90. Yeah. Yeah, it's much better there. Then $90 velocity sounds good. This is actually per part. How it was before. '88. '83. Yeah, '83 sounds good. Can I edit them all together? Would be possible. It's gonna be a mess. I don't want to make a mistake. So let's go part by part. Oh, yeah. As I'm doing it, it's extremely important for me to. That's why I'm doing the top-down mixing process, because I need everything to be on when I'm making level adjustments, fader adjustments, or any insert adjustments. Because if I turn them off to preserve power, then and I do whatever changes to my liking without them on, then when I turn them on, whatever I changed might not sound as I intended to. So that's why I'm following this top-down mixing process. Anyway, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye.